What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm actually here to review Married to Medicine. This is season 11, episode 1, and the episode is titled Guess Who's Coming to Whitnick. Let's go ahead and jump right into this review. So, of course, it's the top of the season, so we see some flashbacks as well as we see, where the ladies are today. But let's get into the meat and potatoes. So, we start this off with Simone and Cecil, okay? They got this big bright idea that because they graduated from Spelman and Morehouse 35 years ago, they're going to throw a party, right? Now, I will say I do like the theme of this. They have like a whole Freaknik theme to the party. But let's not forget why they probably did this. Y'all remember when that Freaknik documentary came out? Wasn't Cecil like on the video or something like that? I can't remember, but I could have swore it was Cecil that they had like video footage of in the Freaknik documentary. But whatever. So they're planning this party and Cecil's asking Simone like, okay, so who'd you invite? Did you invite everybody? Like, who's all gonna come? And she's like, yeah, I invited who I talked to. So he specifically asked, so did you invite Quad? Because we all know that Simone was gunning for Quad all last season. And when it got to that reunion, she didn't make things no better. Now, we jump on over to Heavenly. She's right outside of Quad's house. She trying to bring her some flowers and broke the vase in the driveway. Very on brand for Heavenly. So Heavenly goes to talk to Quad or whatever, and they're just kind of catching up to see what's going on with Quad. Well, here's the thing. Ain't nobody talked to Quad. The only person who's talked to her was Heavenly, because when Heavenly thought back on all the things that were done to Quad, she felt like the girls went too hard. She felt like Quad did not deserve to be iced out the way the ladies did her. And at the end of the day, people have done worse and got treated better than how Quad got treated. And I agree, because unless these people are like really screwing you over, you shouldn't ice them out this way. Like, I get it. Y'all have now accepted Sweet Tea into the fold, but let's not act like Quad wasn't there first. Like, if you really think about it, it was given they were just going to go ahead and replace Quad with Sweet Tea and move on. But moving on from that, here's the thing. We jump back over to Simone, and she says that when they left New York, after the reunion, her and Quad were good. They were talking. However, she feels like Quad read some comments online and then went ghost. I said, well, first of all, that's because y'all filmed that reunion before the show finished out, where everybody saw what actually happened. So when the public saw what actually happened and they voiced their opinion online in the comments like they always do, the same way she saw those comments, you saw those comments. So I'm not understanding why you're so proud to say that, oh, she ghosted me. Did you try to reach out to her? Did you try to hit her up and be like, I know these comments are saying this, that, another, but we're still good over here? I'm wondering if you did that, Simone. Like, I don't know. The more that I'm watching this scene and I'm looking at Cecil's face, it's giving he know his wife is in the wrong. Like, I don't know. The way he looking at her is like, girl, you need to go ahead and make up with her. Because then Cecil brings up the fact that what's the difference between this and all the times you got into it with Heavenly? You and Heavenly come back together, and Simone gives this excuse. She basically says that with Heavenly, the difference is that Heavenly will invite her over to her house, and she does the same. Versus Quad, it's a superficial relationship. Well, girl, let's just call a thing a thing. The reason why you and Heavenly make up is because, number one, you have Dr. Jackie in common. Okay? Because Dr. Jackie's gonna tell y'all to get it together. Secondly, the reason why y'all are back cool is because your husbands get along. Your husbands are friends, and you already know you would have to make up with her at some point. And what it's giving to me is that you don't care for Quad because you don't care to make up with her or not. That's the vibe that I'm getting. So then we jump back over to Quad and Heavenly, and here's the thing. Quad is realizing that, Dr. Simone may feel like Quad should be reaching out to her, and Quad feels like Simone should be reaching out. So clearly both of them are stubborn. And according to Quad, for them to move forward, Dr. Simone needs to say that, she's sorry and she needs to be accountable for her actions. When it comes to Heavenly, though, she apologizes. Like, I'm sorry for all you went through. You didn't deserve all of this. You know what I'm saying? And I can respect it because we have seen the ups and downs of Quad and Heavenly's friendship for sure over the years. But it has never been to the point where we want to ice somebody out. Now we move on to Sweet Tea and Dr. Greg. So we see these two in a car, and basically the update on them is that they're trying to have a baby. Okay? It's been a little hard for them, but they're still trying. And where are they going in the car? Oh, right, to Phaedra's house. Because Phaedra and her boys are going to teach Sweet Tea how to swim. Y'all, I would have never guessed that Phaedra was like the ultimate swimmer. Like, she was a swim coach and all these things. I would have never guessed it. Now, when it comes to Sweet Tea and her swimming, I will say shout out to her, because for most adults it is very hard to learn how to swim, because at this point you have a deep fear of the water. Okay? And I can't lie, she was doing pretty good because she was actually floating after a couple of lessons. You know what I'm saying? A couple of tries. And Miss Mamas was floating and she was actually trying to swim. So good for Sweet Tea. Shout out to Phaedra's boys because they were trying to help her learn how to swim as well. Now, when it comes to Phaedra and Dr. G having this conversation. Alright, so basically when it comes to this situation between Sweet Tea and Dr. Heavenly, there is a big issue here because Heavenly and Sweet Tea have been going back and forth online and things got really dirty. Okay? You had Sweet Tea coming for Dr. Heavenly's mom, and then you also had Dr. Heavenly coming back at her about, I want to say, her not being able to have a baby or something like that. It was some type of like big drama there. And then also on top of that, you already know what pissed Heavenly off was the fact that Damon was brought up and Sweet Tea said that Damon had cheated on Heavenly. Oh, why she say that? Because what did Heavenly do? Retaliate by going in on Dr. G. Now, here's the thing. Was Heavenly wrong for bringing up this man's practice and all of that? Yes. Now, here's the thing that sticks out to me is because they posted some of like the tweets that were said. That were tweeted out by the ladies. And it's crazy to me because Heavenly basically said that Dr. G was an abuser, he was controlling, all those things. And we know that they had a conversation at one of those reunion shows where Quad basically admitted that Dr. G was abusive towards her. So I'm just kind of like, it's crazy to me still to this day that Dr. G is on this show. I don't care that he got married. I don't care that he is still friends with a lot of the couples. When you think of the grand scheme of things, you would have thought that Dr. G would have not been able to come back on this show, considering his ex-wife said that he was abusive towards her. And let's not forget that Quad gave vivid details about him like shoving her to the ground and all of this stuff. It was said on a reunion, and Greg didn't deny it. So that's a little weird to me. But nonetheless, I feel like when it comes to Sweet Tea and Dr. Heavenly, should a conversation be had to where they're able to both apologize? Absolutely, because at the end of the day, we want to move on and have the couples get along on this show. Now, the sad part is that the men have been affected by this situation because Damon and Greg aren't seeing eye to eye either. Because number one, both of them are going to stand up for their wives. And secondly, it just kind of ruined their friendship because now they feel some type of way about each other. Also, in this scene, right, you have Greg basically saying how he feels some type of way because Dr. Heavenly came for his practice, right? Why was Phaedra's next statement, Oh, because you know there's only about 500 something black men practicing medicine or studying medicine or something like that. And I'm just like, girl, that's the encouraging words that you have for this conversation. That's what you gotta say. But then she goes on to be like, yeah, because you gotta be protected at all costs. I'm like, this is not when that phrase is supposed to be used. All right, but let's go ahead and move on because we actually go over to Dr. Heavenly's house, right? Now, it's her and Damon at the house, and she's like super excited because somebody's coming over. Well, who came over? Cecil and Dr. Simone, okay? I was not expecting them to come over. I would have thought that it was going to be Dr. Jackie and, whatever her old man name is. But I thought it was going to be them. Nope. It was actually Cecil and Simone. These two ladies are working on their friendship. And of course, we already know that the guys get along. So they actually have some hibachi or whatever. And baby, when I tell you Cecil got straight to the mess, Cecil got straight to the mess. He's like, all right, so what's going on with you and Letitia? And he's talking to Heavenly. And we already know that Heavenly cannot stand sweet tea. All right, so like I've already explained, both of these ladies said things that were out of line, okay? So when it comes down to it, both of them need to apologize to each other. That's how I feel. If y'all want to move forward, have a friendship, then go ahead, apologize to each other, because at the end of the day, both of y'all said something that was wrong. Now, when it comes to the guys, though, I actually do hope that they can mend their friendship because they've been friends for all these years. Now, Heavenly, she does admit in this conversation that, she said some things that was wrong, and she can admit that. Now, she decides to go ahead and have this conversation pivot to be about Quad because we all know that Simone and Quad ain't seeing eye to eye right now. Now, I will say, I do appreciate the fact that Heavenly told her friend Simone, straight up, you owe this girl an apology. Because she was very apologetic to us when we were in New York, and you owe her an apology as well. Okay? You can just see the grin on Cecil's face that he's actually siding with Quad in all of this. Okay? He is not Team Simone in this situation. Cecil wants Simone to apologize. However, he knows that his wife is very stubborn and she's not going to do it, until it's on her terms. But just watching Cecil move in this whole episode, I'm just like, ooh, he is so ready for Simone to get over herself and apologize to Quad. Now, what's interesting though is that Simone feels like she only owes Quad an apology because she brought up the situation that happened with Quad's family member. I'm not going to go into details with all that because y'all already know what happened. And I feel like, yes, you owe her an apology for bringing that story up, especially when she told you to stop, because you tried to utilize that situation as a time to show that you reached out to her. Of all the situations that you could have used, when she said to stop, you should have been able to pull another story out your back pocket to be like, okay, I'll refrain from talking about that situation, but here's another example. Where was your other example, Simone? Because I don't think you had one. Now, do I also feel like you need to be apologizing because y'all tried to ice that girl out? Yes, I do. Now, we actually see that Cecil has invited Quad to the Whitnick, right? Clearly, Quad and Cecil have a good friendship. They've been friends and cool for a very long time, regardless of whatever Quad got going on with Simone. Her and Cecil still seem to be locked in, okay? Because the way that they were talking when he was inviting her to come to the Whitnick, it was just like they was old friends. Like, anybody think about Simone and her issues? Me and you are friends, and we gonna still be friends. Now, here's the big problem, Cecil. You decided to invite Quad to the Whitnick, and you know Simone gonna be pissed off. You know she is. You know you gonna be sleeping on that couch. Do they still own that other house? Remember when Simone and Cecil had the second house? They still own that? Because, baby, that's where Cecil gonna be sleeping. Matter of fact, he gonna be sleeping at that apartment that they got the boys. Because you know Simone gonna be pissed off. All right, now let's go ahead and move on because we got to get to the Whitnick, okay? We see the setup happening. Everything looks super dope. I think that Cecil and Simone did a great job with all the decor, with, just certain elements and details that they had. Super dope. Baby, they showed these flashback photos of Cecil at Freaknik. I said, okay. Cecil knew he was fine, okay? Cecil was a nice looking black man, you hear me? And he's going on about how, he went to Freaknik back in the day and it was such a good time with all these beautiful black people. Alright, so we see Cecil and Simone out here trying 40s with the event planners, and then we go on to see all the ladies getting ready for the party, right? So you got Phaedra and Toya, they trying to get their outfits together. You have Jackie and what's her name? Jackie and Heavenly, they trying to get their wigs together. And I'm still mad about the wig that Heavenly chose. Because I'm like, girl, why do you have this Baps wig? Why did you choose the Baps wig when you could have just put that red one on? I'm not understanding. Now, keep in mind, y'all, like I said, Dr. Jackie is supposed to be getting ready. When she put that first wig on, I said, "Ooh, Lord, you just aged yourself a solid 20 years, girl. Take that wig off." But they go on to show this picture of Dr. Jackie back in the day when she was like 30 years old. She's going on about how Freaknik, this, that, another. And I'm just like, girl, you was 30. You was too old to be at the Freaknik. Wasn't everybody like in their 20s? Y'all, how much older is Jackie than Simone and Cecil? But nonetheless, y'all, let's get to the party. First things first, who is all these young people walking up? Who are all these young people walking up to the party? I'm trying to understand, who are they? How do they know Cecil and Simone? What's happening right now? Because in my mind, what I thought that the Whitnick was going to look like, I thought it was going to be people from their class, because this is him celebrating their 35th year out of college. So I'm thinking that it's going to be like Simone homegirls from back in the day. Cecil got his boys, maybe some frat guys that used to pledge back in the day. I'm just thinking everybody going to be old. I don't mean to say that as like a mean jab or anything, but it was some people that was walking up to this party, and I'm like, you ever been under 25? How are you on this guest list? Everybody here should be over the age of about 35. Now, let's go ahead and get to the arrivals to the party, right? One thing I do love is the old school cars that everybody pulled up in, okay? I loved it. However, baby, there was some people who I'm just trying to understand, why is there a disconnect? First person who made an offense, Dr. Jackie. Why do you got this little Adidas tracksuit on? You and Curtis. Why are y'all matching with these Adidas tracksuits? Then you didn't even use one of the wigs. Like, you are so not fun. Like, this would have been a cute little time to dress up, have a good time, Jackie. You look everyday, regular right now. Second person to make an offense, Dr. Heavenly. Why did you choose that Baps wig? Baps did not come out until the 90s, okay? Like 95. Okay, Freaknik was basically over by then. You could have just kept that little red wig on and we could have been done. So now, as everybody is arriving to the Whitnick, they are telling their story about if they went to Freaknik back in the day or not. Now, according to Damon, he never went because something always came up. However, Heavenly was there, y'all. Now, what's crazy to me is the fact that Heavenly gave us a whole story about how she used to be locked up in the house when she was in high school. But baby, she was out in these streets when she hit college, okay? Alright, so the next people to arrive is Cecil and Dr. Simone, okay? Now, I must say that Simone's outfit was giving that velour little tracksuit that Keisha Knight Podium had on in Beauty Shop, but it was still cute on her. I said, okay, Simone, I see you. Now, baby, one thing Simone is gonna do, she gonna be loud. I said, baby, Simone is so loud while she's getting out this car. Like, so loud. But nonetheless, next people to pull up is Phaedra. She's riding in the back with Toya and Eugene. Now, Toya and Eugene, they were absolutely too young to be going to Freaknik. However, Phaedra swears she ain't never been. I feel like Phaedra has been to Freaknik, for sure. Now, I must say, I did giggle when Phaedra, she was calling out Damon's outfit. She said, yeah, he giving student on a budget. Because that man, he did not even have on any type of retro anything. He just threw on some shorts and a t-shirt. Now, one thing that annoyed me was the fact that Heavenly did not last in her wig. I said, baby, you got to stand in this hairstyle. Okay, this was your choice. But she kept taking her wig off and then plopping it back on, even though it was crooked half the time. I said, Heavenly, what is going on? She over there trying the Colt 45s. I said, girl, was you trying to reminisce? Why you going over there and try that bottle? Now, the next group to arrive is Dr. G and Sweet Tea. And y'all, guess who is back? Yes, it is Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott. Y'all, yes, they are back. What's throwing me off is why are these two couples in the car together? Because we have never seen Dr. G, Dr. Scott, in passing together, because Dr. G didn't come onto the show until after Dr. Contessa and Scott left. And even when Dr. Contessa came on the show, Dr. G was already gone. So I'm just like, how did these people know each other? Was this a production thing? What is happening here? But you know what? Now that I think about it, maybe because they have an enemy in common, which is Dr. Heavenly, that's why they pulled up together. So as Contessa is telling everybody hello, you got Simone still doing all this hollering in the background. I'm like, Simone, bring it down. She doing all this yelling, and this woman is going around giving out hugs, right? And who happens to give her a hug? Heavenly. So Contessa is like, okay, that's weird. She gave me a hug or whatever. And I'm just like, well, y'all haven't seen each other in a few years. Maybe, she just gave you a hug because you was handing out hugs. Like, that'd be kind of weird. She's standing in the middle of the circle. And what y'all gonna do? Stare each other down? So let's get to the awkwardness, because Damon and Gregory, my God, Damon is coming in, saying hello to him. And he's like, I don't have no ill will towards you. Like, I don't have no hard feelings, none of that. However, in this situation, Dr. Greg is definitely feeling away. He is feeling away about Dr. Heavenly. And honestly, a conversation should be had, just not here. So Simone Loudmouth gets on the microphone, her and Cecil. And while she giving her little speech, baby, somebody pulls up. And who pulls up? None other than Miss Quad, okay? My question is, why did everybody pull up in a red car? That's the real question, but I'm going to let that go. Now, as Quad is getting out the car, you got Heavenly over there hyping her up. However, Dr. Simone is like, we have an uninvited guest. And keep in mind, she's on the microphone. I said, baby, Cecil must have tapped her. It was like, well, baby, I invited her. Now, baby, did y'all see how happy Cecil was when he saw Quad? I mean, they giving each other the biggest bear hug. I said, oh, he missed his friend. My God. Simone, fix it. All right, so since Quad has arrived, we do see Dr. Heavenly go to Simone and be like, hey, it's time for y'all to just make it right. You love Quad. Quad loves you. Whatever. Now, the only thing that was happening for my eyesight was that distracting wig on the top of Heavenly's head. Because, baby, it was cocked to the side and wobbling all over the place. Heavenly, just take it off. You already got a wig on underneath it. Come on now, girl. Now, Simone, she feels like the ladies apologized to Quad too soon. I said, girl, how you gonna put a time limit on when somebody can apologize? First of all. Secondly, you're mad because Jackie apologized 3 weeks ago. Heavenly apologized 3 days ago, and you're sitting there stubborn. You sound kind of crazy, Simone. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, at this point, I'm kind of wondering, how long ago was the reunion filmed? Like, please don't say it's been a month, because then I'm really gonna give you a side eye, Simone. Because if anything, you could just go ahead and apologize and y'all can move on. Now, according to Simone, the only reason why the ladies actually apologized to Quad was because they were getting negative comments online. But here's my thing. Let's not act like you did not just sit up at Heavenly House and admit that you owe this girl an apology. Like, did we not just see that scene? Why are you reneging so hard right now? Well, you guys. We finally know how long ago this happened. The reunion, right? Because in the next scene, we have Toya and Quad. They're talking. Eugene walks up. He gives Quad a hug. Because at this point, they've moved forward. Flashback. Y'all, the reunion was 4 months ago. 4 months ago. And Simone is talking about the other ladies apologized too soon. Simone, you sound crazy. You really do. Now, let me tell y'all what had me laughing. The fact that Eugene was like, as a Christian, you forgive and you turn the other cheek, but you only got 2 cheeks. And here comes Toya. Actually, you got 4. That was actually pretty funny. Now, we actually do see an awkward hug between Quad and Simone. They just kind of hugged each other and said hello. But it was giving weird. Like, Simone was low-key giving lesbian vibes. I'm not even gonna hold you. I said, why she looking at her like that? Like, it's kind of crazy to me, though, how stubborn Simone is. Because even when she was talking to Toya's like, okay, y'all hugged, y'all said hello, but, like, why didn't you just tell her, like, yo, like, we could talk later? And Simone's like, well, that's because I don't want to talk later. Girl, so you just gonna hold on to this grudge? Okay, fine. So it's gonna be Simone versus Quad, because Simone got an attitude problem and Simone don't want to apologize. Wow, Simone. Now, I will say this. When it comes to the entertainment of this party, Cecil and Simone, y'all need y'all ass beat, because why is Scott on our stage? Why is Scott on the stage? Why is he rapping? Why is he prancing around? What's happening right now? Get Dr. Scott off the stage. Now, we see Sweet Tea have a conversation with Contessa, and she basically says that she done talked to everybody at this party, but baby, Heavenly gotta come to her, because at the end of the day, she's owed an apology. We glance on over to Heavenly. She over here looking for her man, and I mean, she's yelling his name. I said, oh baby, that liquor done hit. That liquor has hit Heavenly. Now, this is where I give a side eye to Sweet Tea. Because she goes over to Damon and says, can I talk to you? Let me tell you what's been going on. Skirt. Baby, you don't think him and his wife ain't had no conversations about what's going on? Baby, please know that he knows that you beefing with his wife. Now, we got Sweet Tea trying to justify the fact that she said that Damon cheated on Heavenly. Because according to her, she never said that. But I could have swore that she's the one who repeated that Heavenly supposedly told her that Damon cheated on her. At the end of the day, however you phrase it, those words did technically come out of your mouth. Like, are you going to issue him an apology? And be like, you know what, I misspoke, I shouldn't have said that? Because I'm trying to figure out, what is this conversation about? Now, she didn't really get to finish where she was going with her point, because her husband walked up. Now, according to David, he ain't about to hold that against this girl. However, he got a bone to pick with Dr. G because he's like, dude, you know me. You know my character. You know how I am. Why would you sit up there and be like, I don't know what you do? When I asked you, do you think that I cheated on my wife or something like that? And I get it. You don't know what people do behind closed doors. But in that moment, Dr. G, you knew that that man is not cheating on his wife. You could have been like, yeah, you right. We took it too far. My wife took it too far. Now, baby, by this point, Heavenly done walked her ass over there. Okay, like I already told y'all, the drinks is hitting. So, as they're trying to have this conversation or whatever, you can already tell the tension is very, very thick. Especially between Heavenly and Dr. G. Now, of course, when it comes to this situation, Damon feels like because of whatever Sweet Tea said, Dr. G has to kind of take the hit for it because he's not about to approach Sweet Tea about it. Of course, he's going to approach Dr. G. Now, here's the thing. You have Dr. G saying that, there's some harsh things that your wife has said. Well, that goes vice versa. It doesn't matter who said what first, honestly. It's just whoever retaliated and it goes back and forth and it's who's going to hit the other person harder. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, both of these ladies have said things that they should be apologizing for. So now you have Sweet Tea still trying to stand on the fact that she never said that Damon cheated. Girl, okay. You may not have, called him out and be like, your man's a cheater, but you said that this woman told you that he cheated. Either way, the situation makes it look like he cheated on his wife, okay? Now, Heavenly, like I said, them drinks is hitting, and she is so over Sweet Tea at this moment. Once she said, I don't like how you talking to me, I said, oh, baby, Heavenly is over it. She is 3 seconds away from cussing him out. Like, the fact that she hit Dr. G with the watch your wife, I said, whoa, Heavenly? Like, ain't nothing even happening for you to tell this man to watch his wife. But again, like I said, that liquor has been hitting. So, Heavenly mouth may get a little ruthless. So, Heavenly ends up telling Sweet Tea, matter of fact, how your mama talk to me, because I don't want to talk to you. I said, girl, take your drunk ass on. Because you ain't even making no sense. And then Sweet Tea hits her with the, well, if you say one more negative thing about me, I'm going to hit you with a cease and desist. Listen, I need for y'all to stop getting on reality TV shows thinking that y'all can hit y'all cast members with cease and desist letters. Because honestly, it ruins the show. Okay? Y'all are allowed to talk crap about each other. Like, I know it sucks, but it's kind of a part of the job of being on reality TV, if we want to be honest. Now, of course, we hear Heavenly, she going off. So about she gonna put her foot up somebody's you know what. I said, whoa, Heavenly, go sit down somewhere. And like, that was pretty much the end of the party, okay? Because the ladies were getting into it, that shut down the party. And y'all, that was the end of the episode. Listen, I am so ready for Married to Medicine. I know the girls are going to give it better than a lot of these other reality shows, okay? But let me know what y'all thought about it. Do y'all feel like Simone is in the wrong or is Quad in the wrong? How do y'all feel about the whole Dr. Heavenly and Damon versus Dr. G and Sweet Tea? Let me know in the comments what y'all thought about this episode, okay? How do y'all feel about Contessa coming back? Drop down in the comments, let me know. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.